All right, how's it going, everyone? In this video, we are hopefully going to be writing another $1 million a month VSL. Now, having written 5, I am very hungry and impatient for number 6. And if you've been on this channel for a bit, you might know I did a live writing video just like this maybe a month ago. And that VSL has now been running cold traffic, gotten some really good data from it. It has helped double our sales team from 2 to 4, which is great. But I'm noticing some areas where it could be improved. I truthfully don't think that version of the VSL is going to get us to $1 million a month. It's definitely gotten us off the ground. And maybe that'll be something interesting in this video. It's kind of just going over the refinement process. Once you have tested something, you know there's something there. There's clearly, demand, but it's not what I know is going to be the requirement that in $1 million a month funnel or the $1 million a month VSL is going to have. And that's the biggest thing that I see is you could have the exact same business. 95% of it could be same product, same team, same core thing that you're doing, that you're fulfilling, that you're selling to your clients. But really, biggest difference I've seen with a business that can make maybe 100K a month, $1 million a month, 5 million a month, and so on. It really comes down to your marketing, at least when you're running paid ads, which is exactly what I do. And I've built all of my businesses before. So I have a document here that I'm going to be working through the next hour or so. I really just wanted this to be as unedited as possible. If I take a break to go to the bathroom or if I'm kind of just sitting for a couple minutes, I'll obviously have my team cut that out. But other than that, I really just want this to be raw, live thought process. Because that would be interesting for me, for someone like me to watch through. So as a brief overview, the offer that we have, this is for our AI company. It's called Kadara. It's pretty badass. Essentially, we help coaches, course creators, agency owners, service providers turn their knowledge and expertise into an AI product that they can then sell. They create it once, they can sell it forever to an infinite number of people. And theoretically, unlike a coaching program or anything that requires your time and involvement, this is something that whether you have 100 people or 100,000 people using it, your involvement should be the exact same, which is very minimal. And that's really kind of the refinement process now that we've gotten a good amount of clients through the door using that funnel that I recorded in that previous video, or that I created in that previous video. Now it's a matter of really tightening up the messaging. Pretty much every single funnel, when I launch it or when any marketer launches it, we might have an idea of what is going to resonate with people. And it is, for lack of a better word, kind of just a lot of throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks. If I have 100 ideas that I'm including inside of, a marketing funnel, I'm never going to know what are the 5, 10, 20 ideas out of the 100 that are really resonating with people until I actually pay some money, run some ads, and see what they respond to. And that's really what I feel like we're at now. I feel like there's a lot of ideas that were presented in the previous funnel that now we're trying to tighten up and really pare it down to like the 5 to 10 ideas out of the 100 that really are resonating, really moving people, really motivating them to take action, because the 90 to 95 that are not are kind of just fluff. They're diluting our message. And this truly is kind of the refinement process that happens on the path to $1 million a month and beyond, is really just trimming the fat, really getting rid of messaging that is not, I need to have this. Like really 10 out of 10 motivator, excitement builder. That's a lot of the work that I do with marketing. So I have a very, very rough outline, and this is exactly how I kind of game plan every single piece of marketing, whether it's a VSL or a webinar. I just brain dump a lot of the information that I have here. A lot of this is from that previous version of the VSL. So I have the pitch, everything leading up to the pitch. I have the hook right now blank. And honestly, I will usually do the hook last. I'll either do the hook right at the beginning because I just have an idea of like, this is exactly what's going to grab someone's attention in like the first 30 seconds. Most of the time, I don't have an idea what that is. So I'll do all of the scaffolding, literally the remaining 95% of the VSL. and then hope that through that process, I will have some great ideas of what the first 5% is. Because I've probably said this a lot in a lot of my other videos. The hook also is everything. A bad hook with a flawless rest of the funnel is not going to get you anywhere. But if you have a flawless hook that's just 10 out of 10, hits on every single desire, every single pain point that your clients want, the rest of the funnel is kind of mediocre, if I'm being honest, you're going to make a lot of money. And a lot of my best funnels have been like that. We kind of just stumbled on a hook that worked, that, people were resonating with. And the rest of the funnel was not super polished. It was very, very, very much a rough draft. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Maybe it'll be helpful. The biggest hooks that we're seeing right now that are working well, first is one that says ChatGPT is killing online courses. I think the full hook, if I can recite it off the top of my head, is ChatGPT is killing online courses because people are realizing they can just go to AI for any little question they have without having to sit through hours of video modules. So it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's a little, snarky in some ways, but it's true. And a lot of our clients are seeing this, that like they're putting all this time and effort into these courses that no one's watching, and the sales are down year over year. I know for me, I go to AI, I go to ChatGPT for any little question that happens in my life. So that was kind of where that hook came from. That one's really resonating with people. We have another that is also kind of using the authority of ChatGPT, which is the CEO of ChatGPT. Sam Altman said, we're soon going to see a one-person, $1 billion, or I guess $1 billion company. And that's the whole hook. And then I go into, now it's possible you don't need to have a business with like countless employees, dozens of people, expensive overhead. And then we just go into the rest of the ad. We have another kind of like a batch of ads that are really just kind of hitting on the done for you angle. Like, our team will build you an AI product that you can sell to your audience. So that one obviously resonates with, busy business owners who they don't want to watch through a course themselves. They don't want to get coached on how to do something. They just want someone to do it for them. So that one is resonating with people as well. So these are all things that, in addition to what I also have at the bottom of this document that I'm not going to scroll through because there's some client information that they probably wouldn't want me to show. Basically, I took, we eat our own dog food. We use our own product. So I took literally all of the onboarding calls that I've done with clients in the past month, fed them into our AI, my Lucas AI, and I asked it, okay, out of all of these calls that you've just imported, what are the biggest desires? What are the biggest pain points? And find me common denominators, find me patterns. Even though all of these clients, different size of business, different industries, what are the biggest patterns and kind of thought processes that are repeating among them? The biggest one that if I had to pick one, I've kind of already noted it up here, which is that they see this opportunity, they see this product, they see this offer as a way of scaling their business further without them being the bottleneck. That they do feel in their current business model that there's a lot of dependency on them, the guru, the expert. And that's because, and I know this from having run a business like this for close to 7 years, that when you are the product, when you are selling yourself, like when I sold courses or I sold coaching programs, I was selling Lucas. Lucas was selling his story about, using marketing to do this, that, and the other to succeed. And if you buy this course, I'm going to teach you how to do marketing. And we have course creators who literally teach clients everything from like gardening to how to sing to how to improve your sales team performance. And all of them pretty much have the same sales pitch, which is that they're selling themselves. So they're smart enough to realize that that's not sustainable, that they can't just build a business around themselves, or else they're just tying themselves into a day job where they're trading time for money. So they see this opportunity as a way out of that. And that makes sense why a lot of these hooks have been their top performing hooks, why it's resonating, with a lot of people, and it's bringing in, qualified clients that we really resonate with. If I was going to break this down further, and I always do like to do this, just desires, pain points, Another really common one is tech overwhelm, feeling lost and scattered among 10 to 20 different tools that they constantly have to juggle or get to talk to each other. So obviously the main desire is that this is a new source of revenue that doesn't bottleneck their growth. But they also are recognizing that in their current version of their business model, they are dealing already with complex overhead. And I think that's the biggest universal thing, is that they can't see a path to scaling. They see their business growing as pain. They see it as growing into more discomfort. I think it was Dan Martell. He has a really great book. It's called Buy Back Your Time. And he talks about the pain line. Like, every entrepreneur has a pain line of discomfort and overwhelm that they're willing to tolerate. And no person on earth is ever going to grow a business if it means having to grow past their pain line. It's just not going to happen. You're going to figure out a way to sabotage it. You're going to figure out a way to keep the business small so that you don't have to deal with all of those headaches. And our clients definitely feel that. Like, they can recognize, if I'm dealing with this level of headache and this level of annoyance in my business now, if I was to double it, that would just create this whole big mess. And that's a problem, because as business owners, as ambitious people, they do want to double their business, but they just don't feel like they have a path to getting there. Growing means pain and discomfort, not tolerable. And this is something that I really want to build into this VSL, because I'm a big proponent that good marketing creates customers. Average marketing will find a customer. So and that's honestly how I would self-diagnose our current marketing, is we're finding customers who already have these pain points. They're smart enough to be self-aware that their current business model is not going to help them grow, that they need to change something. But what really great marketing does is it builds that belief into someone who maybe wasn't even thinking about that in the first place. And that's how I want to be thinking as a marketer, is how do I get someone who's just kind of, happily maybe running their business, how do I make them see around the corner of growth that is coming down the road for them, that they need to solve this problem, they need to solve this pain point before they have experienced it, before they are kind of, showing up to the doctor and being like, oh my God, my head hurts so much, please fix this for me. That's really what great marketing does. Great marketing builds beliefs into people so that you can sell a solution before they're kind of like house on fire, what they call it, the bleeding neck problem. Like, that honestly is not that hard to do. And you're never going to grow a really, really big, really, really impactful business just going after those easy customers. So that's really something that when I'm kind of brainstorming these things out, I'm trying to think about, how do I create these customers? How do I not just find the people that are smart enough and self-aware enough to recognize and seek out a solution like us, but how do we create a narrative? How do we create a funnel, kind of like a slippery slope, that forces someone to see the world the same way that some of our really amazing clients have so far, so that we can theoretically save them from the pain and discomfort that could be coming for them, and then them not just having to sit in that pain and discomfort and being like, well, what the hell do I do with this? So when I was feeding all of those call recordings into my AI and then kind of prompting it to get it that data, that's really how I'm thinking about it. I'm not just thinking about, how do I find more people like this? I'm thinking about, how do I create someone like this who maybe shares a lot of similarities? Like I said, our average customer is a coach, course creator, agency owner, probably doing multi-six figures a year, if not seven figures. Those are the sorts of people that, if they've been in their business, running their business for any length of time, they're smart enough to realize that these things are problems. So my goal with this new narrative is, how do I build those beliefs into someone who maybe hasn't had that problem yet, who hasn't had that experience yet? Again, kind of making them see around the corner of what's going to happen if they keep running their business in this way. But this is definitely, the pain point. I'll add that before tech overwhelm. I'll say growth is not scalable or sustainable. They're often burnt out. They're bottlenecked. on their time. They are doing a lot of things in the business themselves, including managing the tech, which is an important bottleneck. Another desire, in addition to just being a new source of revenue that doesn't bottleneck their growth, I think they like the idea that it's low ticket, which is ironically the type of funnel that we're going to be using here. They feel like they can unlock money being left on the table, because this is part of the current funnel, part of the current sales process is if you're only selling something for $10,000, let's say, and you talk to 100 people, let's say you close 10 or 20 of them, those 80 or 90 people you talk to probably were interested in getting help of some sort. They just weren't ready to spend $10,000. So that's truthfully a huge reason why I'm a huge proponent of low ticket. It's the main funnel that I've used in my businesses for the past 2.5 years now. The past year and a half, we've transitioned almost all of our mastermind and agency clients over to it. It's just because you do factually leave a lot of money on the table if you're just expecting every single person who talks to you to be willing to spend 5, 10, 20,000, whatever high ticket price that you're charging, especially given the nature of the economy for most people. So low ticket, I would even say low ticket recurring, because a lot of them can charge, a recurring monthly payment, for whatever AI product that we're helping them to create. Another one is ahead of the competition. So just like with advertising, I've literally heard multiple clients say this, where they were pretty early in using Facebook ads in their industry, somewhere between like 2014 to 2018. And then now everyone and their mother is doing Facebook ads, and the costs have skyrocketed, and it's absolutely still possible to be profitable. But it's not as easy. It's a lot more expensive. It requires a lot more testing and kind of being in the weeds. So a lot of them do see AI as the future, want to be first in their industry, where first is relative. A lot of our clients do not have ambitions of taking over the world, of being the equivalent of Tony Robbins. They do have ambitions of growing to 7, 8, 9 figures potentially. But again, they want to be, I wouldn't even say first, they want to be early in their industry. They want to be a relatively early adopter. So I definitely say those are the big 3 desires, which I'm going to be using to inform this. Are there any other pain points? I would say, their business model as a whole feels stuck. Like they can't just push more through. And I guess that's kind of just a subset of this. They can't just brute force their way to growth. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. And the reason I am intentionally writing this, even if I wasn't recording this video, this is exactly what I would do. I'm just kind of vocalizing my thoughts as I go. Like I was talking about before, the goal now that this is kind of like a version 2 or a new draft of a VSL that's already working to some degree, the goal now is trimming the fat. The goal now is, who is our customer? What do they want? What are their desires? What are they trying to move towards? What are their pain points? What are they trying to move away from? Based on those things, every single word, every single sentence, every single phrase needs to relate back to that. That's what good marketing is. Good marketing is telling people what they want to hear. And that's why you cannot be a good marketer. You can't be a good salesperson if you don't talk to customers in some way. You don't have some form of customer feedback, whether that's looking at reviews or literally talking to them on video calls like I do. That is truthfully the only way to do it. And because every single, I heard this from someone I could not remember, but they basically said every single word needs to earn its place in the real estate that is your marketing funnel. And this is why, I have some VSLs that are like 45 minutes long, and I have some VSLs that are like 5 minutes long. It's not a matter of how long is it. It's a matter of the density of how impactful is every single word, every single sentence that you're saying. Every single one of the $1 million a month VSLs that I've written and that I will continue to write in the future has a very, very high percentage density of words that are only related to what my clients want. And usually the VSLs, the marketing funnels, etc., that do not do very well, they have a lot of fluff. They're just kind of all over the place. And that's naturally what's going to happen with an early first draft of a VSL, because I have no idea what my customers are resonating with. That's why I map out these notes, these bullets, so that I kind of have a compass of where every single sentence in this VSL should be going. If it's not pointing in the same direction of all of what I've just outlined, it's pointless. My customers don't care. Like, no one really cares. Like, oh, where did Lucas grow up? It's like, that's not the point of a funnel. If you want to hear about that, maybe there will be a podcast or a YouTube channel or something. But in the context of a direct response marketing funnel, where we're showing ads to people who have never heard about me, they're seeing me for the first time in their life, every single word needs to earn its place. And that is literally all the marketing testing and refinement process is just trimming the fat over and over and over. And it's not fun, it's not sexy, but it does absolutely give you the ability to earn lots and lots of money. And it's not that complicated. Like, everything I just described, everything that I've done here, not rocket science. You don't need to go to school for this. It just takes time and effort, and a genuine interest. Like, genuinely, this is an incredibly interesting and exciting product. So I genuinely have a lot of interest and curiosity when I talk to our clients. That's what makes it easy. And that's what makes it really, really straightforward for me to get all of this valuable learning data. So these hooks definitely do make sense. And I think, just based on kind of this brainstorming that I did, I like this idea the most. Like, if I was going to have to pick one line of thought to lead off with, it would probably be this. Because number one, everyone's heard about ChatGPT. That's probably the main household name when the average person, the average business owner thinks of AI. And everything that we just outlined, which is that they feel like their current business model is not going to get them to their goals. They feel like a little burnt out, a little capped on their potential, and they're overwhelmed. They just have a lot of things going on. They're busy business owners. This idea of one person being able to have $1 billion company. And I'll say this, probably none of our clients, including kind of myself, really desire to have $1 billion company. Like, I would not tell you, like, I need to have $1 billion company. If a company I built reached $1 billion, then great. That's probably, how my clients see it. But the reason I really like this one is because if people can imagine that this guy, CEO of ChatGPT, whatever you think about him, he's obviously a smart individual. ChatGPT is absolutely a successful, fast-growing company. If this guy is saying that one person can build $1 billion company without any outside help, without any employees, then absolutely it's going to be possible for me, one person, to build $1 million company or a $5 million company or a 10 or 20 or whatever small percentage kind of fits under that. Russell Brunson, he had a lot of webinars back in the day that would use that close at the end, which was even if you only achieved 5%, 10%, 20% of what I've achieved, which is kind of basically what this is that if there is this huge bubble, this huge wave of opportunity that is coming, then obviously if you can get even a small percentage of it, then that is going to be far better than trying to get a big percentage of something that's dying or an industry that's shrinking, for example. So I would honestly say small slice of a big pie. That's kind of the angle or the narrative that we're coming at this with. And I'll write that thing with Russell Brunson, even achieve only a fraction of what others have. I think he would say it in the context of his results, but then I think also he would show a bunch of testimonials and then was like, even if you only did 10% of what they did, that would still be life-changing. So I'm not, 100% sold on this, but right now, just after mapping out those notes, that's kind of the hook that I'm leaning towards. The one that I think is the most universal. And again, I'm thinking in terms of scale. In order to get to $1 million a month funnel, you need to have something that is very widely applicable. And in many ways, like I was talking about before, you need to be creating customers. You can't just be finding customers, at least in most markets. A lot of markets, like financial, trading, there's enough people interested in those things already that you can just find the customers and then just compete with everyone else in that market. Something that I've gone back and forth on, because this is a low ticket funnel. We're selling them a small product that is going to get their toe in the water, introduce them to this idea that they've probably never heard of before, or maybe they haven't seriously considered. And in doing so, hopefully warm them up and open them up to the idea of working with me and my team at a higher level through our higher ticket program. That's essentially what a low ticket funnel is. Something that I've gone back and forth on, and we have ads and we have versions of our VSL that do both successfully, is how much I want to reveal early on in the VSL. Because for a while, for like the first 3 to 4 years of my career, where I was doing, even to this day, I do all of my copywriting, all of my marketing, but I was literally like kind of teaching myself copywriting as I was doing it in the first couple of years. I loved to keep everything a secret. I loved to have funnels that like teased this idea, it teased an angle, it teased a hook in like the first couple minutes, and then it would be like 10 or 15 minutes into the funnel before they actually figured out like what the hell I was talking about. And that worked really, really well from like 2019, 2020 to like early 2022. But now I just feel like people, you know, they're busy. There's so many other things they could be doing on their phone, on their computer, on social media. There's so many gurus, you know, just like me, who are coming at them through an ad, through a funnel, whatever, promising to be the best thing since sliced bread. So I am inclined to reveal the mechanism. That's essentially what I'm debating is, do I want to hide the mechanism? This idea of turning your specialized knowledge and expertise into an AI product that you create oneself forever, blah, blah, blah. Do I want to hide that maybe like 5 or 10 minutes into the funnel so they get super invested, and that in that version of the funnel, the first 5 or 10 minutes would be really twisting the knife on these pain points, really painting the picture of these desires without ever telling them, or without telling them within the first 5 or 10 minutes, like, this is how we solve all those issues and get you to the promised land, basically. But I just feel I don't get excited about that idea. And I'm picturing every single one of the clients that I've done the onboarding calls with. They're busy people. Like, they don't have the time to like watch 10 minutes of just Lucas blabber into a camera about how amazing he is and about all these secrets before they're like, get on with it. Like, just tell me what the hell this is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like in the recent months, in the recent year, it would do better just to reveal this. And obviously we would have to do this in a smooth way, because we're going to transition out of the CEO of ChatGPT hook, if that's the one we end up going with, into telling them, oh, did you know you could do this? Like, we would still want to build the desire, paint the picture of Heaven Island. So this is very much just like direct, logical, here is literally what is happening. So I would want to dress this up a little bit with some marketing, and then obviously these are the benefits underneath. These would be more along the lines of how it will actually come out. This is gonna help you attract your perfect fit clients. This is gonna help you sell one-to-many at scale, and it can automatically ascend people to your higher ticket offerings. This is basically, I'm going to copy paste this. This is basically the idea of the Sam Altman hook, is AI means you can scale yourself much further, achieve what used to take a huge team and complex tech and overhead with just yourself and a laptop. That's essentially the idea. So if I'm imagining the narrative of this VSL, we hook them with this big quote from Sam Altman. We give a little explanation of the capabilities of AI. And then how I would imagine it is saying, if you're a coach or a course creator, this is now possible, where instead of selling, and this is just a very rough idea, instead of selling a group coaching program or an online course or a digital product, you can now take all of that knowledge and expertise and build an AI product that you can create one, sell forever to an infinite number of people, that's fully automated and without requiring your time or involvement. Even that, like, even me saying that and I will literally do this. Again, this is not just because I'm recording this video. I will literally talk out loud to myself because I want to feel how it sounds to hear it as like a lead. And when I heard that, I was like, that's kind of just like marketing BS. Like I've heard that. There's a million other people on Facebook ads right now who are all promising to teach you how to do this. So this is not inherently unique. This inherently just blends into all of the other noise that is on Facebook. And I don't want to blend into noise. I want to be seen as one of one unique, because truly, there's not another platform that can do what we do and has the results that we have. So instead of going into the marketer speak, the benefits, that is important. I heard a mentor, he explained it as tickling their ears. People do like having their ears tickled. They want to hear the things that really get them excited, that are like, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I like hearing it. Anyone who has ever bought something that you didn't absolutely need, where there was an emotional sell, there was some version of that happening. And people, as a human, it is enjoyable to get the picture of Heaven Island painted for you. So I do want to keep this. But before I do that, to really hook their attention and really show them quickly that this is different, that this is not, just the typical BS that you've been seeing on Facebook ads for the last couple of years, I want to have a brief explainer. And I think I already have it down here somewhere. No, I don't. But we have it in our current version of our funnel and our sales process, which is, imagine shrinking your brain down into a box that you can sell to your clients. Whenever your clients need help, they don't call or email you, or actually down into a box that you can sell to your clients, and they can keep it right on their desk. Again, figure of speech. We're not literally selling your brain in a box. Whenever your clients need help, they don't call or email you. They just tap the box, and your AI version of yourself can go to work for them 24/7, 365 days of the year without your involvement. That's kind of the elevator pitch version of what our clients are doing. They're creating a productized version of themselves that can actually do work. So the Lucas AI that I kind of outline later in the VSL, or I will outline later in the VSL, it doesn't just, teach you how to make Facebook ads. It will literally connect to your Facebook ad account, analyze the ads, and then make new ads for you. It will look at your current VSL, just like I'm doing, and it will tell you, here's all the ways that I would literally write and improve it. So that is kind of the pitch, the pitch in a very, very abbreviated version. And I feel like if I'm imagining this in the VSL, we're probably like a minute, 60 seconds, 75 seconds in. Pretty much everything that they've heard so far should be new. It should be something that they've never heard before. And that's exactly the place I want to be as a marketer. The more that I can show them early on that this is different, this isn't like all of the other BS you see on your feed, that this is just a fresh, novel concept, you are always going to have an easier time marketing. Comparing that to if someone can literally say, this is the exact same thing that this other person does, how are you two different other than the price? That's probably one of the worst places you can be. That's not someone I would ever want to have talk to my sales team, that sort of lead. I want people coming to my sales team and coming to our company as a whole, being like, I can't believe this even exists, and I'm so glad I found you guys, because you guys are the only ones that do this. That is the easiest sale. That is the easiest way to grow a company in general, is when you're truly one of a kind, unique. And like I was saying before, that all starts here early on in the marketing process. So I'm pretty happy with this flow so far. Again, nothing is set in stone. All of this is kind of just brain dumping in a lot of ways, but I'm pretty happy with the first 60 seconds. How long are we into this recording? We're 34 minutes in, and I've written 60 seconds worth of the VSL. But that's what it takes, and that's what is really going to move the needle. Because the deeper I get into the VSL, like when I get to like the pitch, I'm really going to spend like 30 seconds on it. Like it's not rocket science. What is a little harder, it's not rocket science. What is harder is, like I was just saying, is getting someone to pay attention to you for a few minutes in the whole ocean of just slop that they could be watching on social media, on their phone, of just the things that are bombarding them for their attention. How do I get them to take time out of their day and invest that time with me? Because I know if I can get them to invest their time, they are going to very easily invest their money. But if you can't get someone to invest their time, you're probably not going to get them to invest that much money. So with that in mind, I like that this is punchier, it's faster. We're immediately kind of giving them a reveal. I think this does make sense. Now that I've kind of given them the brain in the box analogy, now I can hit them with the marketing tickling the ears speak. Create it once, sell it forever to an infinite number of people, fully automated without requiring your time and involvement. Again, this is just a rough bullet point. I would say can attract your perfect fit clients for you, warming them up before they want to work with you personally. That's another commonality among all of our clients is they don't want to stop working with clients themselves. They don't want to stop coaching or consulting or whatever. They just don't want to be doing it for everyone. They don't want to be personally involved with every single client. They kind of just want to do it with the highest level clients. So this definitely is a benefit. I would even say working with them and warming them up before they want to work with you personally at a higher level. Sell one-to-many at scale. I'll just leave that for now, and automatically send higher ticket offers. Honestly, all of this I could roll into like one sentence, but for now we're going to leave it. So we're probably, let's say, 1:45, 2 minutes into the VSL. The goal is that anyone who is super not open to this idea, like if you don't believe in AI, if you're like, AI is terrible, or AI is stupid and it's never going to be able to do what I do, they should be gone. There's no point in even trying to convince that person. Not in this funnel. The benefit of this funnel, even with the hooks that we're starting with, we're clearly targeting someone that has somewhat of a favorable view and belief in AI, which is kind of a requirement of them working with us. I don't know how someone could want to work with us and spend money with us if they don't believe in AI. We've presented this idea of what they're doing, shrinking their brain down into a box and selling that to their clients. If they don't believe, they might be skeptical of that. I'm not asking them to be like 100% bought into that idea. I want to just know that they're receptive to this. They're not against this. They could see this being something that is useful. And then we've teased them a little bit with all the benefits of doing that. Now, I think we are at a good stage of needing proof. Everything I've said here so far is kind of hypothetical in their mind. They're like, okay, yeah, if you could do that, that would be great. If everything you're saying is true, then yeah, that would be amazing. So now I need to back it up. And there's 3 kinds of proof that I like to use. The first is big proof, which is external third-party proof. These are people that are not your clients. They're not you. So you're not just talking about yourself or your story. This could be a publication like Forbes. So Forbes is saying that the biggest growing industry is people shrinking their brain down into a box and selling it to their clients. That's fictional. But if that was real, I don't even need to talk about myself or my clients that much. My proof is with Forbes, a very well-known, reputable business publication in America. I like using a lot of big proof. The second and the third are pretty obvious: testimonials and personal story and results, which I talked about a bit earlier, the downsides of just selling yourself. So honestly, the order that I've written this is kind of the order I want to prioritize them. I want to prioritize big proof. I'll add some bullet placeholders below. I want to prioritize testimonials, and very briefly, actually, I'm pretty sure in one of our VSLs, like I don't even think I say my name. Like I don't even talk about my story, my results, or anything. So I think it is a good idea to prioritize big proof, then go into testimonials, and very, very briefly, maybe like 1 sentence, 1.5 sentences, talk about my own story, my own results. So you could see here quite a few examples. Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi. These are two individuals who are doing this, who have Alex Hormozi, who, if you don't know, probably the biggest business coach in the world right now. He literally says in videos, like, yeah, we're pivoting our whole business to be an AI consultancy. Like, he's pretty easy, big proof, where it's like, okay, if this guy who's huge, makes hundreds of millions of dollars, is doing this and literally saying he's pivoting his whole business to this, that's something you should pay attention to. Tony Robbins, also super, super famous among coaches and educators, being probably the biggest personal development coach of all time. He also is doing this, so it's useful to use him as third-party proof. And it's important to note, Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins are not clients of ours. Like, we are, and we say that, we are literally just pointing out as a fact, this is what the big dogs are doing. This is what the titans of these industries are realizing their focus should be in 2026. So do with that information what you will. And a lot of people make the connection like, oh, if the biggest people who are making the most money are doing this, maybe I should be following along as well. And then Leanne, one of our most amazing testimonials. We use her a lot because she is awesome. She's seen amazing results with it. I won't go into all of that yet, but the reason being I'm kind of thinking in my mind, I have done this track, this narrative of like Alex Hormozi, Tony Robbins. Another one I use is Ray Dalio. He's doing this. And then the other one I talk about is Mark Benioff, $12 billion net worth CEO of Salesforce, predicts this to be a $12 trillion opportunity, which for reference is 60 times the size of e-learning. And I think it's 3 times, it's either 3 to 4 times the size of all e-commerce combined. That one is compelling. I don't know, that one excites me, where it's like, in some of our videos, we show a diagram where I literally show a bubble with the logos of eBay, Shopify, Wayfair, Amazon, like literally every e-commerce retailer's logo is inside this bubble. And then I show another bubble next to it that's 3 to 4 times bigger. And I'm like, this is how much bigger this opportunity is to be predicted by someone who has no need for money anymore. Like, he's just seeing where the world is going. He's worth $12 billion already, thanks to Salesforce. He thinks it's going to be triple or quadruple the size of all e-commerce, much less 60 times the size of coaching, consulting, online courses. So honestly, I like this one better. Like, it helps to bring it down to earth to people that, these business owners would see on their social media and recognize. I like this one a lot. I'm honestly kind of surprised with myself that I haven't prioritized this one more. And maybe it's because it's kind of a mouthful. Like, for me to just give you that little speech, it takes longer than just saying, oh, Alex Hormozi's doing this. Alex Hormozi. But I like it because it's also similar to this idea that if there's this huge tidal wave of opportunity, if there's this huge new gold rush opportunity that all the smartest people in the world, like Mark Benioff is a smart guy, clearly. He knows some things about how business and the financial markets work. If they're all saying that this is the direction the world is going, then maybe I should pay attention. And if I can even capture 1% of 1% of 1% of 12 trillion, that's still really, really compelling and incredible. These ones, I'm like, yeah, it is cool. People know Alex Hormozi, Tony Robbins, but we are starting to build up enough testimonials now where I'm not saying it's like, oh, our clients are better or bigger or more reputable than Alex Hormozi or Tony Robbins, but unless someone has literally purchased Alex Hormozi, Tony Robbins, or Ray Dalio's AI product, it's kind of just useless information to them. It's like, okay, it's like, yeah, I could tell someone that these people have written the book. I'm not going to be like super excited to just go out and, write my own book all of a sudden. So I do like this one. Do I have any others? I don't think so. So yeah, this one honestly is pretty compelling. And the important thing with this is it gives a definition. The definition of what we are talking about is called digital labor. That digital labor is predicted to be the $12 trillion market. And that is essentially what shrinking your brain down into a box is. You're creating a digital labor AI. And here would be a good place to differentiate between AI chatbots and why these are becoming so popular. For those of you who are in the AI industry, you probably know about things like Claude or OpenClaw and Manus and Kimi. Like, those are all part of this wave. And I wonder, I really don't think any of our clients would know those things. Like, those are things you kind of need to be in the AI industry to know about. The whole reason our clients buy from us is because they're busy business owners. Like, they don't have time to be keeping up with all the latest developments of AI. But probably all of them would know, well, they wouldn't know Mark Benioff, but they would probably know Fortune 500 company. He's worth $12 billion. That is pretty compelling. So the only reason I bring any of that up is because I'm questioning, like, well, should I bring up any other examples? Like all of the recent buzz that has been happening around like Claude or OpenClaw and Kimi and Manus. And I don't think that would be interesting or compelling to any of our clients. Like, none of them have ever mentioned any of those things to me. So I'm honestly going to leave that out for now. I do like this as the first presentation of proof. If I'm imagining myself as a lead that's starting to sell me a little bit, that this is not just Lucas talking out of his ass, but this is actually based in reality. It's not just Lucas saying this, but it's tons of different people in business that are saying this. And now, after I've presented, the first part of the VSL is kind of like the hypothetical, the theoretical of like, did you know that this was a thing? Now we're bringing it into reality, where this titan of industry is literally putting a dollar figure estimate to what the potential size of this industry is. Now, the way I'm thinking about it is, here's what this actually looks like. We're making it tangible. Because all I've given them so far is this metaphor. Imagine shrinking your brain down into a box and your clients buy it and they tap the box. Theoretically here, before or after this little marketing speak, I could give them an example. I could give them like, here's a demo of Lucas AI, or here's an example of one of our clients. And the reason I've always been hesitant to do that is because there are so many different things that a client can do. Like I was talking about before, Lucas AI plugs into your Facebook ads manager and then automatically reviews the winning ads and creates new ads. That's one of its functionalities. We have personal trainers who will create an AI product where their clients can take a picture of their food and it automatically tracks the calories, the macros, etc. Because that's a very popular app in the App Store now. So they obviously get the benefit of that. So it's difficult when you have, all of these different examples of use cases to give like a tangible, down-to-earth example right away. But here I feel like is a pretty good logical place to do it, because I've presented the idea, I've told them all the benefits, I'm showing them that this is real. Now, what does this actually look like? And I always come back to those two examples. I love the personal trainer example. It's so cool. It's so badass. If you're a personal trainer who doesn't have that, you're just going to look like a schmuck next to the one where it's like, no, you don't need to weigh out all your food and, manually enter your meal plan like a caveman. Just take a picture and the AI does it. So I honestly like that one a lot. Personal trainer AI. And I do think there is benefit in using these and even using example clients. Like I could use literally one of our clients' names here, but it's almost better that it's general, because again, if my goal is to create a customer, which is creating belief in someone that did not know about this before, it's easier for them to see it as possible for them to be doing this if I just show them, like, here's an example of how health and wellness professionals can use this. Here's an example of how marketing consultants like me can do this. Here's an example of, all of these different industries. So I like the idea of doing like a personal trainer AI, a marketing AI, which is basically Lucas AI. And that's, another thing that's up for debate is, do I want to reveal Lucas AI here, or just like generally talk about like, here's what marketing professionals are doing. Another really common one is kind of like mindset and emotional coaching, where we have like marriage counselors and therapists that are on our platform that do this. We have people who help people through like trauma, who help people through, really difficult, you could say it's akin to therapy, but it's kind of more like life coaching. So that would be a really interesting example. Maybe like a general business finance AI. I'm imagining one like our clients that use like, what do you call them? Like work platforms like Monday, ClickUp. I guess those are like service platforms. Monday, ClickUp, Asana, or accounting. So things like QuickBooks or Xero. The whole goal here, again, creating the customer, showing them the possibilities that even if I don't show them the perfect fit example for their business, their mind is going to be open to the possibilities. They're going to realize, oh, if AI can do all these crazy things in all these different industries, here, who knows what it could even be possible to do in my business. And that's one of the interesting things about our sales process now is it's about a 50-50 split between 50% people that are coming to the call, like already brain buzzing with ideas of all the ways that they could implement this. And then the other 50% are kind of just like, I'm excited about the possibilities and I don't know what it could do. Can you guys, the experts, help me brainstorm or help me figure out, what is ultimately going to be best? So I like these four. Like anything else, they're subject to change. I like that better than just going back to these examples. I will want to use these examples probably, but I honestly like after this, here's what this looks like. Okay. We have the proof after we've given them the brain in the box analogy. Mark Benioff, digital labor, differentiate between AI chatbots. Here's what this actually looks like. Make it tangible, down to earth. Personal trainer AI example. I don't know why I typed that. There was no benefit to me typing that. Marketing AI, mindset, emotional, and then journal. So it's kind of bouncing back and forth between like non-business, health and wellness, to business, general life. Those are the two big areas, is what's happening in your life and what's happening with your money. So, where do I want to go from here? Do I want to do testimonials? Do I want to go to these people? Do I want to talk about myself? I'm honestly kind of leaning towards talking about myself, honestly. Because unless I could merge the testimonials into this, or I could say, our amazing client, Tanner, is a personal trainer, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, then it kind of becomes tangible, down to earth, and it's a real person that has succeeded and seen great results with your platform. It almost seems repetitive if I went from this into, here's what our amazing clients have to say about us. Actually, I'm glad I'm speaking this out, and I'm glad I'm recording this video because it's helping me. What I want to talk about now is results. Like, it's very similar to the flow at the beginning, where we're presenting this idea that is obviously enticing on its own. We're painting the picture of Heaven Island and giving them the analogy to help them see the possibilities with this. And then we give them a little marketing speak. That's kind of where we're at now. Like I presented them with this general idea. I brought it down to earth, and now they want to hear the marketing speak. They're like, okay, yeah, that's really cool that you can do that for a personal trainer or a marketer or mindset. What does that actually mean for them? What does that actually mean for their business? And that's where this stuff, I want to bring these down to earth. Oops, didn't paste correctly. I want to have the results of what does it look like for a business owner who is attracting their perfect fit clients. What does it look like for a business owner who's now able to sell one-to-many at scale? This one should honestly be first here. And what does it look like when they can automatically ascend people to their higher ticket offers? I think this order is good. So one-to-many at scale. So now I kind of am seeing it. Now with these bulleted results, I can use both myself and the testimonials. I kind of want to, just like I said before, kind of want to go into talking about myself. I can say this is a very natural transition where after I've shown them kind of 4 generic examples, I can say this is exactly what I did as a burnt out marketing consultant, agency owner, whatever. Lucas AI results of selling one-to-many at scale. That's good. And then, again, I'll probably fill these in later off screen, but this would probably be client testimonial and result of attracting their perfect fit clients. Because I just gave them an example to make it real of what is it, what are these things? What are these products that you're selling people? Okay, I get it now. So what? What is that going to do for me? Well, when I did this with Lucas AI, it helped me sell one-to-many without bottlenecking me on my time. When so-and-so client did this, I used TK, little writing trick. TK is an amazing placeholder because it never appears next to each other as 2 letters in the English language. So then if I control F in any document, TK, it's going to find all my placeholders. A small aside. So when TK client did this, they were able to attract their perfect fit clients. I don't need for you. And AI and their AI product is working with their clients and warming them up before they want to work with TK personally at a higher level. And then maybe more and more TK client testimonial of automatic ascensions to high ticket. These are kind of similar, but this one, I see the benefit more as the focus on like the lead generation, like you're bringing new people into the door. And then this one is more focused on what do you do with those leads who are buying this little thing? And how are they turning into high LTV, say high lifetime value clients? Because that is another big thing. I don't know if I said this earlier. A lot of our clients, they like coaching. They don't want to stop coaching, but they don't like working with everyone. And it's not because there's anything wrong with their clients, but it's because like a lot of their clients are beginners. So these coaches, these experts are repeating themselves over and over and over and over again, just answering the same questions, handling the same objections, even after they've started paying them. And that's kind of just, the nature of the game. And yeah, you could like record an online course, but that takes a lot of work. It needs to be updated. No one really watches them. No one likes paying for them because they know it takes a lot of time and effort. So yeah, the whole reason I said that is just because they recognize the value here, that they want to have a client that sticks with them long term, because that's how a business survives and thrives. But they're not the one working with them themselves personally, answering a million of the same questions for weeks, months, or years. So now I pat myself on the back. We've woven myself and our clients into the natural progression of what I think is shaping up pretty strong. Again, I use the slippery slope analogy a lot. So we're taking someone from complete unknown, completely cold lead to, I want to be Lucas's best friend and I want to pay him large sums of money for whatever he's talking about. That's the ultimate goal of a sales funnel. And that doesn't happen all at once. It happens over a slippery slope. And that's why everything that I'm going over in this video, I'm probably not even going to do like the AI text generation. I might do that in a future video, but like this is genuinely where the money is. Like, even if you didn't have Lucas AI or you don't have our AI platform, like if you're able to do this and you can feed it into an AI with a good prompt and you give it examples of your writing, it's going to be good enough. And obviously, like I said, like the whole selling point of our platform is I can connect all of my data. Like it literally has 3 years worth of my last marketing campaigns, VSLs, webinars. Like it knows how to write like me. It knows my business. If I give it this outline and it's already pre-prompted to know like how I write VSLs, this is the money, is the strategy, not like literally like writing word for word every single thing. So my job now as a marketer in this era of AI is, how do I figure out the flow? How do I figure out the narrative and the structure, and more importantly, the order in which things need to be presented? Because like you've seen, or like I was mentioning before, not only does every word need to earn its place in the real estate of your marketing, but it also needs to flow in a logical, persuasive way, but also an emotionally persuasive way. And the easiest way to do that, it's not easy, but you can do it with practice, is just put yourself into your potential client's shoes. Imagine you were hearing this sales pitch, you were hearing this marketing pitch from someone at a bar over the lunch table. What are your questions that come up as you're hearing this? And that's kind of how I realized, like, okay, yeah, if I've never heard about this idea of creating an AI product, a brain in a box, and someone then shows me these examples, okay, I believe you. So what? What does this do? Why would I want this as a business owner? Now we talk about the results. And I do think actually it does make logical sense now. We can do a rapid fire. I wouldn't spend very long on it, but like this is what Alex Hormozi's doing. This is what Tony Robbins, this is what Ray Dalio. We're tying it back to that big proof that we initially started with. So I would honestly say rapid fire, big proof. Because there have been ads and there have been versions of the VSL where I spend like, I spend the whole paragraph talking about Alex Hormozi's AI and Tony Robbins' AI. But really the biggest selling point of this is just like the selling point of Mark Benioff, is like, these smart guys agree with me, these smart titans of industry. And someone commented on one of my ads, they're like, why didn't you mention any women? And I'm like, that's a great point, because honestly, over half of our client base is women. So I'm actually going to get rid of Mr. Dalio, even though he's probably the wealthiest one. But among the coaching industry, Alex Hormozi, Tony Robbins, Ray Dalio are objectively, Alex Hormozi, Tony Robbins are objectively more well-known. So I'm going to do a TK female coach example. It is good to have representation because people are skeptical. It's the same reason why if you have a lot of testimonials from people who are planning for retirement, guess who you're going to have an easier time selling? People who are planning for retirement. If you have a lot of testimonials from people who are busy moms, guess who's going to resonate with that and see themselves in that? Busy moms. So even I like Alex Hormozi, I like Tony Robbins. Like I don't know if I 100% resonate with them. It would be good to have a balance of the proof that we are presenting here. So that's something I'll come back and present later. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Let's reread our flow and let's remind ourselves of all of the benefits that we listed out before. Scale your business without the expert being the bottleneck, reduce dependency on you, create this new source of revenue that's not a bottleneck, and basically no longer feel stuck and overwhelmed in your business. Next. The hook, oops, I don't know why this keeps doing that. The hook aligns with that. It creates a potential desired future state that I think aligns with eliminating their overwhelm, eliminating their burnout, if this is a possibility. I maybe will use something like this, but I think I can pretty safely delete this. I don't want to use that here. Or we are giving them a very quick definition of what this is, shrinking your brain down into a box, teasing it with some marketing speak. What does this actually mean if you can do this? Mark Benioff definition of digital labor AI. Obviously, the numbers associated with it, that lends credibility to all of this that I've just presented to them. And then probably like 2.5, 3 minutes in, we're actually giving them tangible examples. That's good. I wouldn't want to give tangible examples right at the beginning because I want to build some of the anticipation, some of the excitement. That I have given away some of the secret here, not everything. I haven't shown them like literally what does this AI in a box look like, but it's not a mystery what I'm doing, which is not what I used to do in a lot of funnels. We have the credibility with Mark Benioff, and then now 2.5, 3 minutes in, we're showing them the tangible examples. And beyond just kind of building the anticipation, I can also disqualify everyone who's not a good fit, everyone who doesn't believe in this. I think that's great. Then we go into the results. Lucas AI, client testimonial, rapid fire, Hormozy, Robbins, a female coach, ideally, for representation. Now, by default, this next note I have is kind of like defining the problem. So these are the sections I have before the pitch, and maybe, I'll come up with a brand new section, but I feel like this is pretty comprehensive. If anything, I'm just going to rearrange these or delete some of them. The solution, so we have the problem, which I tell in the example of my story, which is I got stuck working in my business rather than on it. My business only moved forward when I was personally working in it. That's not a business, that's a job where you trade time for money. That is pretty good. That is pretty compelling. I like that. The solution, creating an AI product that can scale without you also replicating. Yeah, reminding them, remind of the brain in the box analogy. And then this would be one I would probably delete, like new form of AI, digital labor, and a brief overview. We kind of hit on that here already. So I think I can pretty safely delete that. So this is a pretty short and punchy low ticket VSL, which is what I want. Like the whole thing should be like 12 minutes long, including the pitch. And usually with a VSL, I want the pitch to be half of the video. So if it's a 12-minute VSL, it should be 6 minutes of before the pitch and then 6 minutes of pitch. And I think we're at that point. Like if I'm kind of just mentally mapping this out, we probably are like, I don't know, 4 to 6 minutes in. And it's really just a matter of what do I want to do with these other two sections? Because I could it wouldn't really make sense to, the only things I could see is what I have right now. Problem, then solution, or problem and just delete the solution. Because maybe it's not even worth bringing this back up. I already told them, if I'm following my own advice of every word needs to earn its real estate, well, there's no point in just literally verbatim repeating yourself. It's more beneficial just to go into the pitch. And if anything, kind of like I've been doing so far, maybe I can combine it into the pitch, where the pitch starts with, learn how to do this, create an AI product. I can just copy paste this. Your own brain in a box that you can sell your clients. Yeah, I don't think this needs to be its own section. Like we can start with some placeholder pre-pitch verbiage, which would be, people are going to realize something's for sale here if they have not already. I would basically say, I've taken everything that I've learned across my own business and all my clients and put it into a comprehensive system, something like that. Very obvious we're getting into a pitch, and then we can tease it with, here's why this matters for you, because you can now create your own AI product that can scale without you, blah, blah, blah. Here's what you get. How I sold Lucas AI, paid at. These are all placeholders. This is what I kind of just brain dumped earlier. I don't even have the price point or any of the order bumps nailed down just yet. But before I get there, do I like this? Do I like going from this section about proof, ending with results, and then going into the problem definition? Because alternatively, I could just delete this too. That's the decision point we're at. We could either go right from the results into the pitch And then it's probably a sub 10-minute VSL, very, very short. Or I can really tickle the ears and, in some ways build connection. I know I kind of have said a lot of times, like, you don't want to be selling yourself. You don't want to be the product, but there is a benefit in people getting to know the human behind the company. If I read through all, I'm imagining if I'm a lead, if I'm a potential client, would I be sold enough to at least spend $10, $20, $30? Like, we're not even over $50. Like, this is in many ways an impulse purchase. I'm honestly kind of inclined to delete this. I'm honestly inclined to move this after the paywall. Like, I want to move this into what they are buying. Like, this is educational. And at this price point, I don't really need to do actual lecturing or education. I just need to have a narrative flow that, like I said before, logically makes sense and is persuasive, and emotionally makes sense and is persuasive. Like, everything kind of follows one after another in a slippery slope. So I'm very inclined just to get rid of that and just make this like a 10-minute VSL where we're probably at like 5 minutes up until this point, and then 5 minutes of pitch, and it's $10, $20, $30. Like, if you've listened this far and you just heard all of those examples I gave you, and you want to know how this even works, buy the thing, get behind the paywall, and let me show you the secrets. The education is almost like not that exciting. It's like, I mean, it is important, but before someone has made the choice of whether they want to do this or not, it almost doesn't matter. It almost takes away from it. So, and that's what I have down here. I'm not going to do all of this right now, but this is what they're essentially buying, is what I call an in-product VSL. So they get like a course, a members area, all that good stuff. But the core video that they're watching is essentially a second VSL. It's breaking beliefs that they maybe have that are holding them back and rebuilding new ones that get them more bought in on this idea. Results. I'll just leave this, educate, and then paste that there. Because I'm not going to do this right now. This is really just about getting the front end VSL dialed in. But yeah, I mean, I'm imagining our clients, and I feel like clients who have paid us already for our higher ticket program, I don't even know if they need this. Like, I think given everything that I've said so far and the proof that I've shown them, I think they'd be ready to go. And they're like, oh, it's $10, of course. Like, try this out. Like, we're not talking about like an $100, $200 purchase where they're, this is really an impulse in many ways. It's just, do you want to explore this further? And obviously this also comes with a money back guarantee. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to do that? So to wrap this up, and again, I'm not going to even do the AI generation in this video because it's not that interesting. Like, it just works. I know it works when I have the narrative down correctly. The not super fun part, which honestly is kind of fun, like, it is stimulating. I've been going at this for an hour 15. Is figuring out the flow, the architecture, the strategy, so that I can have my little AI minions write everything for me. Like, even something like this, I don't need to fill this in. Like, I've written enough low ticket VSL pitches. It knows how to write that. In terms of what you get, how I sold my own Lucas AI, I get everything I used, all the tools, resources, and templates to do this yourself. You're going to learn how to advertise it with paid ads, the exact ads and funnels I use on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm kind of just thinking about the order. I think the automated ascension is more exciting. Because theoretically, someone doesn't need to run ads. Like, quite a few of our clients are just like, I want to use this with all of my people on my email list who haven't bought my high ticket thing yet or haven't been a client for a while. So this, honestly, well, I think the order here is good. How I sold Lucas AI, everything I used, automated ascension, paid ads, templates, business systemization, how to have your AI run your business back office for you, and how you could do all this yourself without being techy. 10 or 20 bucks. Like, who wouldn't want to try that? And that's kind of, you know, how you can pressure test this is just like, listen to the pitch. Like, are you excited? Would you spend 10 or 20 bucks on this? And absolutely. Like, I'm reading this and I'm like, I'd be an idiot to spend 10 bucks. Even at 97. Well, obviously I'm a little biased because I'm kind of a tech nerd. I'm definitely a very early AI adopter. And that's not who we're targeting. We're targeting people who are not aware, not super in the weeds with AI, but they know the benefits of it. So, but even then, I think I've painted the picture of the benefits of AI without getting into the weeds pretty well so far. Not to pat myself on the back too much, but yeah, I think it's good. You get a money back guarantee, you know, the price, I'll figure out the price later. That's not, you know, super needle moving. I don't even want to add bonuses. Like, they're getting 1, 2, 4 pretty sweet deliverables. Like, anything more, it's almost like it waters down the pitch. Like, it makes this core message sound less valuable. And that's really all I'm selling them. I'm pulling back the curtain, showing you how to create an AI product that you can sell to leads and clients that can scale without you, because it replicates what makes you special, your unique knowledge and expertise. Yeah, like, what bonus could someone need? I don't even know. The paid ads templates, I guess, is kind of a bonus. Same with this. I guess it's 2 core things related to that core promise, and then 2 bonuses. I'm going to scroll up, reread my notes I made before. Scale your business further. They can't see a path to scaling because growing means pain. One other thing, because I know everyone loves this, I love it, it's like a roadmap. Roadmap to scaling to your first client, your first AI customer, to your first 10, 100, 1,000 plus. Yeah, that was the only one I felt like was not, because that's a huge thing, is like they cannot imagine themselves scaling their current business to 100, 500, 1,000 clients. So if there was some sort of deliverable that handles that objection, that would be very important. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deliverables, and then you don't need to be techie, money back guarantee. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. Maybe I'll revisit this with fresh eyes, but I don't need to do the order bumps now. Honestly, like, because the order bumps, those are the little check boxes on the checkout. I don't do them in the VSL. I don't mention them in the VSL at all. It's just something that we have on the checkout, so I'm not even going to do that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this hour and 20 minutes worth of work. Maybe I'll come back in a month and have another video where I rant on camera for an hour and I'm like, actually, what I just did was crap and we need to improve it. But already, by far, this is a huge improvement from the last live session that I did, which, like I said, has already gotten us some really great momentum. So I'm excited to put this into AI and launch it. My goal is, today's Wednesday. I want to launch this for this upcoming Monday. So I need to record it, get it to our editor, have our funnel builder go to work. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. If you are a business owner or marketing nerd like me, maybe you got something out of this. I know it was helpful for me, genuinely. If you have any questions, any ideas, any feedback, drop it in the comments. This is a small YouTube channel, as you can see, so I see every single comment. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.